had said the war had already been won, but the Americans today had this timescale.
Are you suggesting this war could be over, will be over in a few more weeks?
I think that's the likely time frame, yes.
Also tonight, prostate cancer screening is found to be as good as routine checks for breast cancer. So will this change policy? Plus, and Hollywood gears up for the Oscars in a race that's too close to call.
This is ITV News with Yasmin Bodalbhai.
Good evening. One of President Trump's top teams says the war with Iran could continue for weeks as dozens more people were killed today in continuing US-Israeli attacks. The Energy Secretary Ed Miliband said today that there should be a de-escalation. But given what the Americans said, it seems there's little chance of that right now. Our political correspondent Shihab Khan reports.
This is the wreckage left behind after an Israeli-US strike on a police station in Tehran. Debris and rubble being cleared away as nearby houses in this residential area were also destroyed. This family now sifting through what remains of their home, trying to salvage whatever they can.
We were confused and didn't know what had happened. We just ran away. God had mercy on all of us.
It is the reality of war. But strikes continue. Israeli officials have said the scope of their operation is widening. This footage released by the IDF shows its forces striking what it claims was a drone facility in western Iran. Meanwhile, Israel said Iran had fired another wave of missiles, some getting through here in Tel Aviv. Senior figures in the Trump administration have warned that all of this could go on for a little while longer.
You say a few more weeks. Are you suggesting this war could be over, will be over in a few more weeks?
I think that's the likely time frame, yes. I think the president came out early on saying he expected the need for 4 to 6 weeks to completely defang Iran's military capabilities.
But the consequences of this war are being felt far beyond the region. Iran's commitment to blocking the Strait of Hormuz, the world's busiest oil shipping channel, has been felt at petrol pumps. There's been higher energy costs and mortgage rates have been going up. Tomorrow, the Chancellor is expected to outline measures to help families struggling with energy bills, particularly because of higher heating oil costs. But for now, the government says it wants tensions to ease.
The best thing we can do is to de-escalate this conflict, because that is the clearest and most effective way in which we can get the strait reopened. And that's what the Prime Minister has been working on throughout this conflict.
Yet there are few signs of that happening. Iran's foreign minister says there is now no reason to talk to Washington, and Tehran is not pushing for a ceasefire, a sign that this conflict is unlikely to slow down soon. Shihab Khan, ITV News.
Well, 3 more members of the Iranian women's football delegation who were given humanitarian visas to stay in Australia will return home after withdrawing their asylum applications. Concerns for the Iranian team were raised after they were silent for the country's anthem in their opening Asian Cup match against South Korea on the 2nd of March, which led to them being branded war traitors in Iran. Australia's Home Affairs Minister has confirmed the decisions and said his government had done everything it could to ensure the women were given the chance to have a safe future in the country. Here, 12 arrests were made amid a protest and counter-protest during the El Quds Day demonstration in London. Hundreds attended static protests after the annual march was banned over fears of public disorder. The reasons for the arrests including showing support for a proscribed organisation, Affray, and for threatening or abusive behaviour. And police have revealed more information about a man who was found dead in a wheelie bin in Coventry. He's believed to be aged between 40 and 50 and had distinctive tattoos, including a cross with a snake wrapped around it on his back and the word Nan on his right arm. It's believed he may have been hit by a vehicle before being moved to Cash's Park. prostate cancer screening is just as good as routine checks women have for breast cancer. That's according to a new study. Government advisors have always ruled there isn't enough evidence to back prostate screening in men, but researchers say that approach no longer makes sense. Emma Volney joins me now. And Emma, what more can you tell us about this?
Well, women have been screened for breast cancer since 1988, but as you say, there is no nationwide screening programme for prostate cancer in men over the age of 45, and that is despite calls from people like the Olympic cycling champion Sir Chris Hoy, who was diagnosed after his prostate cancer has spread, and he's now been given a terminal prognosis. I can tell you that in the UK, more than 64,000 men are diagnosed with prostate cancer each and every year. 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed at some point in their lifetime, and cases have increased by 20% in the last 5 years. But researchers in Germany have looked at more than 39,000 men having blood tests and scans for prostate cancer, and they've compared their results to 2.8 million women having mammograms for breast cancer. And what they found is that prostate screening detected up to 74% of cancers that have begun to spread, which is, and this is the key point, roughly the same proportion picked up by routine mammograms.
So Europe has decided that screening is a good thing and saves lives, and the UK has decided it can't make a decision. We're seeing people who are elderly and from low-risk groups get repeated testing, and the people who are at high risk aren't getting any testing at all.
So he feels there's major health inequality. Now, government advisors have previously said that screening should only be for men with certain genetic mutations, but the Health Secretary, Wes Streeting, says he's going to look at all of the evidence before making a final decision in the coming weeks over who should be eligible and indeed whether or not we should have a national prostate screening programme.
OK, Emma, thank you. On to football, and another big day at both ends of the Premier League. Manchester United knew a win against Villa would cement their spot in the top 3. Elsewhere, troubled Spurs travelled to Liverpool, desperately searching for their first league win of the year. Chris Scudder was watching.
Igor Tudor came in to rescue Spurs, but he'd never felt more alone after losing all of his games before this. Situation critical in their relegation fight. They could not afford this.
Dominic Szoboszlai!
Easy for Dominic Szoboszlai, but the Spurs goalkeeper Vicario really should have saved it. Not good for the blood pressure, and it could have been worse, but for Vicario's fingertip redemption. Premier League's so-called Big Six clubs. It's only been a matter of months since Manchester United were in just 3 goals against Villa keeps them firmly in the top 3 places. And the boys from Brazil have got them there. Casemiro and Cunha both scored. Sesko's goal finished the job, and after all their troubles, United look to be taking...
In the Women's League Cup, Chelsea have claimed the first silverware of the season, beating Manchester United 2-0.
Greeting Cannerid with the cross. Beaver Jones pokes it home.
Goals from Lauren James and Aggie Beaver-Jones sealed a comprehensive victory for the Blues. It's a 4th straight domestic trophy for Chelsea after their treble success last season. And finally, it's being billed as the most unpredictable and wide-open Oscars in recent memory. Almost every single category is too close to call. Aside from Best Actress, which is widely expected to go to Ireland's Jessie Buckley for her portrayal of Agnes Shakespeare in Hamlet. Our arts editor Nina Nanar is on the red carpet in Tinseltown, and Nina, the stars will be arriving soon.
Yeah, they're all starting to arrive, and as they do, I have to say, they will notice the unprecedented levels of security here because of the Iran war. I spoke to the organisers earlier in the week, and they said they are anticipating some politics on the stage, but they are very much hoping that it is the competing films that hog the headlines. What a close call it will be this year in nearly all of the categories, and for the British competitors, well, of course, we have representation both in front and, as ever, behind the camera.
Whether it's K-pop or Kate Hudson, nominees this week are getting ready. Hollywood has spruced itself up for and Brits are making their presence felt in the kitchen.
Do you want to taste? Yeah, no, for sure.
Where the UK's first Oscar chef will be feeding the stars tonight.
Even if the Brits don't win anything...
Oh, we're winners here. We'll win.
I didn't get your name.
It's Dorothy. The Brit behind this Oscar-nominated short film is very much hoping there will be homegrown winners.
Oh my goodness, look at it, it's gorgeous.
His first time writing and directing, and Lee Knight now finds himself in Hollywood.
Everyone back in London's telling me it's just rains non-stop and apparently there's a roof leaking somewhere in my house. I don't care right now.
One step, come to your right, step.
With 8 nominations, the British film Hamlet has its greatest chance of victory in the shape of its Irish lead, Jessie Buckley, but its makers say they're winners already.
We've just crossed $100 million at the box office, which is pretty extraordinary for a film set in 1580.
Say one word. One word more. Anything.
Victor.
Mike Hill turned Jacob Elordi into a monster, and in doing so made himself the favourite to win an Oscar for makeup and hairstyling.
And especially for, you know, someone who, as a little boy, used to sculpt these monsters from clay I used to dig up from the canal bank. As an artist, you dream of this moment, but I think up until the moment is when it's going to hit me with a knockout, you know.
Nobody take me.
Will Sinners, with its record-breaking 16 nominations, be the story of the night, beating favourite one battle after another? At the Oscars, there will be the before and the after. Nina Nanab, ITV News at the Oscars.
And you can watch the Oscars on ITV1, ITVX and STV tonight. Our coverage starts at 10:15, straight after the news. And that will be with me at 10 o'clock. The news where you are is next, but for now, from all of us, bye-bye.